This is wormwood. I'm sure most of you have heard of what wormwood is. It's not a plant. This thing is actually a shrub. It's something I didn't know about this plant, which I couldn't really find too much information about it. This thing can absolutely grow massive. I mean, this thing can probably grow 10 feet wide by, say, 15 feet tall if you were to grow it out in the open yard. It will grow into a giant tree, like a round ball. Picture like a 15-foot diameter ball. That's what this thing would grow like. You can see it's popping up in different places. When it goes into seed, it makes these little puffy seed balls, and there's literally tens of thousands of seeds per little flower. I mean, these seeds are so tiny, they're about maybe a 50th the size of a poppy seed. So they're tiny, you can't even see them, and these things literally spread everywhere. If you're going to grow this plant, just keep that in mind. This thing will spread all over your yard. This is another invasive type plant. I wouldn't say it's an invasive species, but it can very easily become. You need to contain it really quickly if you start to see it spreading, because this will literally just start growing everywhere. You'll have problems. And I'll show you some of the stumps of the other bushes I started cutting down in the front because they just got so big. They were just, you'll see. This is supposed to be a plant, not a tree, and I didn't know that, but it's a tree and not a plant, if that makes any sense. Here's the leaves. They're kind of soft. They have like a bluish color to them. I'll eat one for you. I eat these from time to time. I'll eat some of these leaves. It's a good tonic for the liver, I believe. It has a pungent taste. You really got to have a palate that can handle this. So I like this kind of pungency. It's like if you ever chewed licorice, real licorice root, pure, and you chew on it, and that intensity that comes out, it's kind of like that, but it doesn't taste like that. It has its own intensity flavor. If you ever tasted absinthe, they make a liquor out of it called absinthe. This is what they use to make that liquor. It's hard to describe the flavor of this thing. I mean, I really can't. Most people would just cough it out. I mean, I have a high tolerance. This is like a bitter herb. If you were going to make a bitter for your liquor shelf, like you make liquors or liqueurs or things like that, you can take vodka and you would make a very strong, stringent concentrate out of the leaves, soak it, and then you can make what's known as a bitter. You can use that in your recipes when you make drinks, when you have guests over to make drinks. It's not toxic. They say, if you read this toxicology, say it is absence of Kelly or whatever. I don't know. I eat it from, not a lot of it, but I'll pick from it randomly here and there. Everything in moderation. A few leaves here and there. It's very good for your stomach. They call it wormwood for a reason. It just kills things that are living inside your stomach and your intestinal tract and everything. So it's good to chew on some of these leaves. I'll chew every so often, randomly. I'll pick some leaves and just start chewing them and eat them. And here, I'll show you a little one. There's a little one growing in the pot. I didn't plant that. That just happened to sprout up somewhere on its own. Just sprouting up. Okay. It lives throughout the winter. It's been 10, 15 below zero here for weeks on end. It comes up every year. It gets very nasty if you don't trim it back. I recommend you cut the thing almost to the ground and let the new stalks come up every year, and eventually you're going to have to cut that big lump that forms on the bottom off completely, because that does start getting diseased. Here, I'll show you. Okay, here's the ones in front of my greenhouse. I cut this one down. I cut it down late in the season. If you cut it down early in the season, it'll come up with all new sheets. But I cut this down late in the season. I'm probably going to I may even cut the whole thing out here because this thing just gets big. Look, see? There's another one popping up here. I didn't plant that. And there you go. Look at the size of that stump on that thing. I don't even have arborvitaes, which stumps as big as this thing. It's literally pouring out of the top of the block. Okay? That's how big this thing is. So this fall, I'm probably going to butcher this thing down pretty low. Let it start off new shoots. It looks beautiful when it's all fresh shoots. Absolutely beautiful. But you can see it likes to fall down and hang when it rains. And you see it's very thinned out in the middle. I had to clean all that out because it was filled with this dead debris that hangs because all the inside of it dies, and it just gets nasty. It gets full of mold and bugs and spreading disease everywhere. Oh, another thing about this particular plant, its root system is toxic to other plants, so you don't really want to grow this in your garden or anything. You want to find an area of yard all by itself to grow it and let it grow. It just produces the absinthe, and that stuff is toxic to other plants. Just grow it by itself and just keep it manicured. Keep everything about 5 feet away from it in every direction, and you should be fine. It's a beautiful plant. You can't eat the leaves from time to time. You will build up a palate to it. In the beginning you won't like it, but you will learn how to like it. It's good for your internals, and there are many other medical uses for it. You can look them up on Google. You can apply those medical uses as you feel fit. And that's it. I'll give you a look at the base of this thing. See, this is what it looks like when you don't trim it out and it gets all nasty like that. But when you cut all that back and all the new stuff comes in, this thing is one big beautiful turquoise blue, not blue, but green blue look. It's just beautiful. Alright,